What's up, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here with this week's episode of What's New at TW, and we got the very first ICAST edition of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. We are in ICAST season, and everything that's on the table here is all early ICAST release, and it's all in stock. It's available to buy right now, so get them while you can. We're going to be at the show next week. It kicks off next Wednesday. We're going to do tons of video coverage. We're going to post all kinds of stuff. We're going to check out all the new baits and stuff at the show, talk to different pros. Let us know what boots you want us to go by, who do you want us to talk to, and what you want to see from the ICAST show 2025. So let's get into some of this early ICAST release product. First one here from Daiwa, super exciting spinning reel. This is the new Daiwa Ballistic MQLT. Now, a phenomenal spinning reel, kind of a revamped model. They've had this spinning reel in their lineup in the past, and this is the latest rendition of it. It looks phenomenal. It's kind of got a really dark navy blue color to it, which I think it looks really good with that that anodized red finish and the kind of the chrome accents. But mainly this frame here. So the frame and the body and the rotor are all made out of Daiwa's Zion material, which is a carbon material that is super light and incredibly strong. And now, since they've gone to that monocoque body design, you can kind of see it a lot better on the reel handle side. With that monocoque body, they're allowed to put a bigger gear inside the reel and just keeps everything in precise alignment. It's got their air drive design. It's incredibly light. It doesn't feel like you're spinning anything. So it's one of the smoothest reels I've ever picked up right out of the box. And then the drag system on there, incredibly strong drag. It's got a little bit different sound of a clicker, kind of a deeper noise, which I actually kind of like a lot instead of that higher pitched noise that you typically get out of a spinning reel. Really cool spinning reel, available to buy right now. All right, from 6 cents, we got some products here. This first one, the new Unit 24 crankbait. Big, deep diving crankbait. What's cool about this bait, I mean, it's a large bait. It weighs over 3 ounces. It's, large profile, really mimics those big gizzard shads or big thread fins, crappie, whatever you're trying to mimic. But it's got 2 joints in it. So just a little bit different design than I've ever seen on it, a big deep diving crankbait. And this thing will run 24 feet deep, hence the name that Unit 24. So it's getting down there super, super deep. Middle of summer is a great time to be out on those ledges, throwing deep crankbaits. Just like all 6 cents baits, they come stock with the great hardware on them. They've got like a triple grip style hook on here, but they're BKK hooks, incredibly sharp. Everything's heavy duty for hooking big fish. Swiveling line ties, or hook hangers, I should say, because when you hook those big ones, you don't want them to throw that big crankbait, especially it weighing 3 ounces. But all around, premium hardware, phenomenal finishes, excellent new crankbait there from 6 cents. The next one here, a little bit smaller, the new harness treble head, if I could see if I can hold it there. So they've came out with a head kind of similar to this that was a line through, and now they have this harness head. Now what's cool about this one, instead of the line through, if you weren't a fan of the line through, you want something that's kind of a direct connection. You can put the treble hook on the top, or you can actually, there's a line tie on the bottom, you can hook it on the bottom. So you can take any soft plastic swim bait you want and hook it onto this and either make it a top hook or a bottom hook swim bait. So a little bit different than like your jig head with the hook shank that would be running through the middle. This one has got the corkscrew on it. And what that's going to do is it's going to just increase the life of your swim baits. So when you don't have that shank running through the body of the bait, when fish are fighting and thrashing everywhere, it's a lot harder for them to tear up the bait. So this will increase the life of your swim baits and increase that hookup ratio when you have trebles on there. So really cool, and just something a little bit different, different offering out there for swim baits. The next one here is the Bodega 6.5. Now, they do have this bait in some smaller sizes, but this is the big one. Now, I was seeing this thing starting to pop up social media and seeing it actually on pros boats over at Lake Fork. And this is a big profile bait. But what's cool about it is it's not a giant, giant piece of plastic. Like, the body of it is just about the size of like your normal beaver style bait. And it's got these small legs on the side, just give you a little bit of action. But the main thing is these 2 big tails on there. So those are gonna kick and flap, produce a lot of action. They're really thin. So they're gonna be able to just move in the water and get really cool action. So I actually saw some of the pros at Lake Fork throwing this on wobblehead. So, I mean, another option, you can throw it on a jig, wobblehead. yeah, of course, flip it and punch it through cover when you're trying to get a big bite and just have that bigger profile. But it's still gonna be able to hold, you know, like a 4 or 5/0 hook in there, no problem, and you're gonna get great hook penetration. You're not gonna have to go to like a 7, 8, 9/0 style hook to fish this bait. So really cool bait, big profile, get big bites with the Bodega 6.5-inch bait right there. Okay, from SPRO, or not SPRO, I'm sorry, I'm looking at SPRO right here, SnagProof. So SnagProof just came out with the Zo Kick. So if it looks familiar, it's kind of like the old SnagProof Wobbletron frog. It's just a new and improved version of it. So it's got these kicking legs on it, hollow body design, got a really nice double frog hook on there, and it's got like an owner cutting point hook on there, so you get phenomenal hook penetration. So with this frog, you know, you would think, you know, right out the gate with the kicking legs, you would just throw it and wind it and reel it, which is how I fished the Wobbletron, but come to find out, that was not always the best way to fish it. I've been watching Bobby Barrick fish this thing, and he's actually twitching it in open water, just, you know, a couple short pauses and it kicks, pause, and getting some really big fish. I think he left us a review, and I've been watching his social media, him catching some really big fish on it. So just something that I wouldn't have thought of that, you know, I'm glad he's given us that information. How to fish this frog, you know, not always what you think. You would think you just throw and wind it, but actually a really good frog produces a lot of big bites with those kicker legs, just something a little bit different action than like your popping frog or just a regular walking frog. So just the Zo Kick, definitely want to have one in your arsenal. If you're up at the California Delta, definitely got to have the Tweety, the yellowhead one up in your arsenal. Now, if you got some other frogs in your arsenal and you need to upgrade the hooks, we got a new hook from Spearpoint. So my buddies over at Spearpoint just came out with this hook. It's called the Croker choker. So this is a hollow body frog hook, and it's got a really unique design. So if you've got frogs, and let's be honest, not every hollow body frog on the market comes with a premium hook. This gives you an option to replace that. Or if you got one of your favorite frogs that you catch a lot of fish on and you want to upgrade the hook, just get one of these and put it in there. They're super easy to install. You can pull the harness out, pop these in and out, and have a new frog hook. But with this hook, the way that bend is in there and how long these hook points are, so you have tremendous hookup ratio, and then once you hook a fish down into this bend, it makes it extremely hard for that fish to throw the hook. So increasing your hookup ratio and landing ratio with hollow body frogs with this new Spearpoint Croker choker hook. All right, now we're gonna move on to SPRO. That yellow package distracted me there for a minute. So this is the SPRO Mc Dart. Now it does look familiar. It does look like the old Mc Stick, the Mike McClellan Mc Stick bait. Now it is the same body, but they've gone to a wider bill on the front. And what that's gonna do is this is gonna have a little bit more resistance in the water, and it's gonna get this bait to dart side to side and have a more erratic action than the Mc Stick. So kind of a 1-2 punch system with these SPRO jerk baits now. So if you're a fan of this bait, if you have both of them, the Mc Stick will have a little bit tighter, more subtle action. But if they're wanting some more erratic, wider action, you know, warmer weather or warmer water, they're chasing, you need to move a little bit faster and you want your bait to kind of dart around more, definitely go with the Mc Dart. Comes out of the box with sticky sharp Teflon coated Gamagati hooks on it and some phenomenal colors. So really cool jerk bait, just adding a new, just a little bit more versatility to their lineup of jerk baits. From, another one from 6 Sense. This one slipped through here. So another 6 Sense bait is the Micro Fiction. So a tiny little 1.5-inch bait, definitely geared towards the crappie anglers. So they've got this one. They actually got little jig heads to match up with these little swim baits. So if you're really doing a lot of pan fishing and looking for stuff for crappie and bluegills and stuff like that, fishing in ponds, 6 Sense got another little soft plastic you can add to the arsenal for pan fishing. Okay, from Great Lakes Finesse. So we got 2 new offerings, same shapes as they've already got, but micro size. So we got the micro, I think this one is the craw tube, if I can not mess the name up. We got the juvie craw and then the snack craw on that one. Now I fished this little juvie craw tube before. It's a really cool design. They have little tiny tube jig heads that fit right in there. Super finesse action. And with the tube head system they got to work perfectly with that, it is a fish catching little bait. I use it in the wintertime. I caught the heck out of some spotted bass. It's a really fun bait to fish, but now in a micro size, and same thing with the snack craw. Really small little snack size craw bait. You fishing on like your small little micro jigs, any kind of finesse jigs. Like there's lots of BFS fishing getting more and more popular now, and this is a really cool craw option to throw as well. And in these craws, they actually have got two different types of plastic. So there is neutrally buoyant plastic and floating plastic. So two different options. So if you want different action, if you want it to stand up straight like on a Ned head, or if you want it to be neutrally buoyant on a jig, you can get either or, depending on the color. But really cool little trailer there from Great Lakes Finesse. From Yamamoto, this one here is one I've been pretty pumped about. This is the new Slinko. I believe it's a 3 1/4 inch size. So the Slinko's been out for a while, and now they've got a small offering, kind of geared towards Ned rig fishing. And I've seen some of the videos that Yamamoto's put out of this bait on a Ned rig with that thin body and all the ribs on there. This thing moves and wiggles like crazy on a Ned head. It's going to be a fish catcher. Definitely going to want to have these in your arsenal if you're doing a lot of Ned rig fishing. But also you can fish it on a drop shot. You can fish on like a little Carolina rig, whatever you want. But a nice finesse new worm there from Yamamoto. From Evergreen, we got the new the JJ Minnow. Super small finesse style wake bait, kind of topwater wake bait. So it does have a small bill and a body on there. So it does swim and kind of move back and forth. It's got a feathered treble on there. But if you reel it fast, you can actually crank this down like a foot or so under the surface. But super small, kind of a BFS style topwater bait. So if your fish are chasing really small shad, depending on the time of the year, especially coming up in the fall when you need to downsize, that's going to be a great option for you. Not last up. Let's see, first gen. So this is the new mini copperhead. And what's cool about this bait is it's got two BBs, kind of copper BBs, put right there into the head. And it makes this thing super loud. And it's got a hand-tied skirt on it, but just a more compact profile than ones they've offered in the past. I know Walker out in Georgia has been fishing this bait on Lanier and he catches them on it, but now you got a smaller offering, a new mini option, just for those times that you need to kind of downsize your profile and just have a smaller package just to get more bites, or if they're just on those really small bait fish. Okay, from Gamagati, we got a bunch of new stuff. Actually, we're kind of excited for these new products from Gamagati. It was kind of interesting, kind of something new in the hook and terminal market. So this one is the antenna hook. Now, when I saw this hook, I was thinking, it's got to be for wacky rigging or something like that. And I thought this was a weed guard. Totally unique design, actually made for Jika rigs. So you can thread on like a little plastic. I mean, you can put like a, the little Slinko on there, a little creature bait. And these antennas are made to kind of spread apart and actually work in front of the bait and act, kind of like a weed guard, but it kind of keeps the bait deflecting off different types of cover. It's also got a keeper on there to hold the plastic on there. And so anglers are using these in Japan. They're pinning like a little drop shot style hook on there, fishing a Jika rig, and that hook is helping you get through a little bit more cover than like an offset hook. Like a weedless offset hook, and then also having an increased hookup ratio. So super slick coating on there. So without like having an offset weedless hook, you have a top hook on there, so hook a lot more fish. It is crazy sharp, and just something interesting to try out if you're trying to new finesse tactics like free rigs and Jika rigs and stuff like that. The next few that we got here are a couple new options. These are actually their one-touch blades. So these are the one-touch blades. So there's one right here on the spinnerbait and then one on this this treble hook. So they make the one to go on the treble hook. It's actually like a little wire arm system, goes through the eyelet, and it's got these beads to kind of snug it up and get it in place. So you can actually add a blade to your treble hooks. So for your crankbaits and jerk baits and whatever you want to kind of add some flash to and kind of try something out, maybe a top water, add a little blade on there. You can add that on onto a treble hook with that one-touch blade. Then they have the other one. This has actually got a small little glow material snap on here, so you can just punch it right through a hook of like this example, like a spinner bait, but you can put it on a buzz bait, throw it on the back of a vibrating jig, swim jig, something like that, and now you have a blade on the back of there, kind of as a trailer, just to add more flash. But really unique design, just cool stuff to like throw in the terminal box. Just you never know when you want to like customize and just start tinkering with the tackle, and that just gives you another option to kind of make a custom look. We'll get into some storage stuff here. So this one's actually from Great Lake Finesse. This is the new terminal wallet. This is a really nice option for storing all your hooks. So you open it up, and you've got all these little wallets in here. So little slots with zippered bags on here to put all your different types of hooks. I've seen stuff like this in the past where it's just like an individual, like one slot. And if you're normal bass anglers like most of us, we got about 50 packs of hooks in our bag. So this just gives you a much bigger binder to be able to hold all your terminal and keep it in one place. Really cool, storage option, especially for terminal from Great Lakes Finesse. From SPRO, we got a ton of new tackle boxes and storage boxes from SPRO. I believe these are kind of the medium sizes, but we have them in smaller sizes, larger sizes, shallows, deeps, whatever you want. They've got a huge range of new storage options that you definitely want to go check out. These are really nice boxes. They're actually vented on the top so that keeps moisture out of your baits. They have just a single-handed latch on there. All the dividers all pre-cut, already in there. Really nice design. But another unique thing about this divider system, SPRO actually sells some kind of miniature containers that actually go right into these slots to keep all of your small terminal pieces, like small swivels, split rings, stuff like that. Keeps it all separated and keeps it from mixing up. One other thing we wanted to highlight is this new spinnerbait box, kind of made out of a TPE material that's or like a PVC material, super strong, water resistant, so it keeps everything dry and nice and sealed in there. And I think you can fit up to 48 spinnerbaits in this one box. And got a nice little handle on it, but just small size, holds a lot of spinnerbaits, which is probably one of the harder things to store, keep organized in your boat. All right, finish it out with a new rod from Halo. Got the new Halo BB series. So we got, I believe, 2 new casting and a couple new spinning rods from them. This has got their nano blank technology, and the graphic on this is a sharp looking graphic. They've got Fuji components, so you're gonna get a nice Fuji guide, Fuji reel seat on here, cork handle, and then tons of blank exposure, super sensitive. 5-year warranty. This is their jerkbait model. I believe there's a heavy cover model, and then there's a spinning rod for all your scoping needs. So new rod there from Halo, the BB series. And then last but not least, new mount here from Beatdown. So this is their Flex, I think it's the Flex HD. This is the double stack model. So if you are outfitting your boat and you want to set it up with multiple graphs and get everything on there for scoping, or maybe you just want your graphs to sit up a little bit higher and not up, not all the way down on your deck. This one's cool because it's got this adjustable arm, so you can move the graphs up and down. You can spin them around and kind of get whatever angle you need. If you're maybe you're power pulled down and you're fishing off the side of the boat and you can't really see the graph, you can move it up, turn it around wherever you want it, and lock it right in place. And then this whole arm can fold up and down as well. If you're running, if you want to fold the whole mechanism down, you can do that as well. All made out of aluminum. You can just see the craftsmanship on these mounts. They are not cheap, but if you're making an investment for expensive graphs on your boat, you might want to look into something like this. I mean, everything's welded, super high quality mount system for your bass boat. That's going to wrap up today's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. Like I said, all this stuff is available to purchase right now, early ICAST releases. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you want to see from ICAST 2025, and stay tuned for more coverage next week.